How to Always Have Money by Earl Nightingale. Lesson 1. The secret of wealth is not what you think. I want to begin our journey together with a simple truth that has transformed countless lives throughout history. We become what we think about. This golden key unlocks the door to wealth beyond your imagination. Most people believe the secret to having money is finding the right job, making a lucky investment, or perhaps inheriting a fortune. They're looking outside themselves for the answer. But wealth, true wealth, begins within your own mind. Consider for a moment. Your thoughts are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Plant thoughts of lack and limitation, and that's precisely what will grow in your life. Plant thoughts of abundance and opportunity, and watch as your financial world transforms. The greatest tragedy I've witnessed is good people struggling financially simply because they've never understood this principle. They work hard. They sacrifice, yet money seems to slip through their fingers like water. Why? Because their dominant thoughts about money are rooted in worry, fear, and scarcity. Let me ask you something. What do you think about most when it comes to money? Do you worry about bills? Do you fear not having enough, or do you expect good things, opportunities, and abundance to flow into your life? Your honest answer reveals more about your financial future than your current bank balance ever could. You see, wealth isn't primarily about dollars and cents. It's about a state of mind that attracts prosperity. The wealthy person isn't merely one with money. It's someone who understands that wealth comes from creating value, solving problems, and maintaining thoughts aligned with abundance. Think of your mind as a powerful broadcasting station, sending signals out into the universe every moment of every day. These signals attract corresponding circumstances, people, and opportunities. When you consistently broadcast thoughts of financial possibility rather than limitation, you begin magnetizing resources that previously seemed unavailable to you. Starting today, I invite you to try something remarkable. For the next 7 days, become aware of every thought you have about money. When a negative thought appears, perhaps I can't afford that, or money is hard to come by, gently replace it with its positive counterpart. I'm finding ways to afford what matters to me, or money flows to me through expected and unexpected channels. This isn't magical thinking. It's the practical application of the most fundamental law of human psychology. Your conscious mind is the watchman at the gate of your thoughts. What you allow to enter becomes the reality you experience. Friends, the secret of wealth begins with this understanding. Your financial condition is nothing more than the outward expression of your inward thinking. Change your thoughts about money, and you change your thoughts about money, and you change your experience of it. The journey to always having money starts not in your pocket but in your mind. Guard your thoughts carefully, for they are creating your financial future with every passing moment. The wealth you seek is already within your reach, the moment you begin to think differently about what's possible for you. Lesson 2. Why most people struggle financially. Have you ever watched a river flowing? Notice how it moves with purpose, carving its own path, never stopping despite obstacles in its way. Now, compare that to the vast ocean of humanity moving about their daily lives. Most follow the crowd, doing what everyone else does, thinking what everyone else thinks. This is the conformity trap, the number one reason most people struggle financially throughout their lives. You see, the average person is like a leaf caught in a stream of conventional thinking. They've been programmed from childhood with limiting ideas about money. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are just lucky. You have to work hard all your life to make ends meet. These beliefs are passed down like family heirlooms, rarely questioned, always limiting. In my travels, I've observed that approximately 95% of people reach retirement age financially dependent on others, family, charity, or the government. Only 5% achieve financial independence. What separates these two groups isn't intelligence, opportunity, or luck. It's the courage to think differently. The masses, the dead fish, as I sometimes call them, float downstream, carried by the current of common thinking. The financially successful are like that river, carving their own path, sometimes against tremendous odds. Fear is the invisible prison guard keeping most people financially trapped. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of looking foolish, fear of looking foolish, fear of the unknown. These fears paralyze action and cement people into lives of quiet financial desperation. Consider the case of Raymond, a factory worker I met in Chicago. For 20 years, he punched the clock, complaining about his financial situation, but never changing his actions. One day, Raymond heard a simple idea that shattered his conditioning. Your income can grow only to the extent that you do. This sparked something in him. He began reading about business during his lunch breaks. Within 3 years, Raymond had started a small service company that eventually provided more income than his factory job ever could. What changed? Not his circumstances, but his thinking. I want you to try something right now. Take a moment to listen to your own thoughts about money. What phrases pop up? I can never afford what I want. Rich people are different from me. It's too late to change my financial situation. These are the invisible chains holding you back. Remember this truth. The thoughts you accept today determine the reality you will experience tomorrow. Most people struggle financially because they accept thoughts of limitation rather than possibility. The wonderful news is that you can choose different thoughts. Like Raymond, you can question the programming that has kept you financially stagnant. You can decide today to be like the river, carving your own financial path, rather than floating along with the masses. This choice, made moment by moment, day after day, is the beginning of a new financial reality for you. In the chapters ahead, I'll show you exactly how to make this transformation complete. Lesson 3. Your mind as a money magnet. The most extraordinary discovery mankind has ever made is the power of our thinking. Your mind is like the richest soil ever discovered, a fertile field that will grow whatever you plant in it, whether that planting is intentional or accidental, Let me share with you a fundamental truth. Money responds to your thoughts about it. Just as surely as crops follow their seasons, your financial situation follows your mental attitude about money. This isn't mysterious or magical. It's simply the law of cause and effect working in your financial life. You see, thoughts become things. Every invention, building, business, and fortune began first as a thought in someone's mind. The clothes you're wearing, the chair you're sitting on, and yes, the money in your wallet, all began as thoughts. When you fully grasp this principle, you'll never look at your thinking the same way again. Consider what happens when you plant a tomato seed. You don't get pumpkins or corn, you get tomatoes. Your mind works the same way. Plant thoughts of lack and limitation, and you'll harvest exactly that. But plant thoughts of abundance and opportunity, and watch what happens. The power of expectation is working in your life right now. What do you expect when you check your bank account? Do you brace yourself for bad news, or do you look forward to seeing your growing resources? Your expectation isn't just a reaction. It's a creative force that shapes what you'll actually find. Here's a practical method I've seen work wonders. Programming your subconscious for abundance. Your subconscious mind doesn't argue with what you tell it. It simply accepts and works to make your dominant thoughts your reality. Each night before sleep, visualize yourself handling money confidently, making wise decisions, and enjoying the security of financial stability. See yourself paying bills with gratitude, investing wisely, and sharing generously. These mental pictures, consistently held, will gradually transform your financial world. Wealth affirmations work when they're specific, believable, and emotionally charged. Instead of saying, "I am rich," when you don't believe it, try "Money flows to me through multiple channels," or "I discover new opportunities to increase my income every day." The feeling behind these statements is what gives them power. Your mind doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you regularly imagine yourself making smart money decisions, your brain forms new pathways that make these behaviors more natural in your actual life. Your mind is a money magnet, but the polarity of that magnet is determined by your thoughts. Negative thoughts repel money. Positive expectations attract it. The choice of which thoughts to entertain is entirely yours. This isn't about magical thinking. It's about aligning your thoughts with the laws that govern achievement in every area of life. Just as a farmer works with natural laws to produce a harvest, you can work with mental laws to produce financial abundance. What financial harvest are you planting today? Lesson 4. Setting goals that guarantee financial success. I'd like to share something remarkable with you today, friend. Throughout my years of studying successful men and women, I've discovered that those who achieve financial abundance all share one common trait. They set clear, specific goals. They know exactly where they're headed on their financial journey. Most people drift through life hoping for better financial circumstances, much like a ship without a rudder, pushed wherever the winds and tides decide. But that's not going to be you anymore. No, you're about to join that special group. That 5 who write down their financial destinations with crystal clarity. Why do most financial goals fail? Simply because they're too vague. Saying, I want to be rich or I want more money gives your mind nothing substantial to work toward. Your wonderful mind needs specifics, amounts, dates, and clear pictures of what you're truly seeking. Here's what I call the river card technique. Take a small card that fits in your wallet or purse. On one side, write your precise financial goal with an exact dollar amount and date. On the reverse side, write exactly what you'll give in return for this money. Carry this card with you everywhere. Look at it several times daily until these images burn into your subconscious mind. Your written goals become the blueprint that your subconscious mind works day and night to construct in your life. What you write down with conviction becomes your reality through the marvelous workings of your mind. A financial destination statement goes beyond mere numbers. It captures how you'll feel when you've achieved financial security. Will you help others? Will you travel? Will you start that business you've always dreamed about? Your financial goals must connect deeply with what truly matters to you. I remember a young man who worked in a factory. He created a detailed plan to save $25,000 within 5 years, an ambitious goal on his modest salary. He wrote this goal on his modest salary, he wrote this goal on his river card, reviewed it daily, and most importantly, he developed a specific plan with monthly milestones. While his coworkers spent their paychecks each Friday night, he systematically set aside his portions, investing them wisely. Within 4 years, a full year ahead of schedule, he reached his goal and purchased the small business he'd been dreaming about. The difference between this young man and his coworkers wasn't luck or even income. It was the clarity of his financial vision and his unwavering commitment to it. Tonight, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Take out 3 sheets of paper. On the first, detail your financial goals for 1 year from today. Be specific about amounts and what you'll do to achieve them. On the second sheet, extend your vision to 5 years. On the third, look 10 years ahead. Don't worry about being practical. Dream boldly about what you truly desire. What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Your financial future isn't determined by economic conditions, your background, or your current circumstances. It's determined by the goals you set today and your commitment to achieving them. With clear financial goals, you'll never again wonder about having enough money. Your direction will be set, and abundance will naturally follow. Lesson 5. The Mindset of the Wealthy. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract wealth naturally while others struggle their entire lives? The answer lies not in external circumstances, but in the 6 inches between their ears. The mindset of the wealthy is as different from the financially struggling as day is from night. The wealthy think differently about money. Where the average person sees money as something to be earned and spent, the wealthy see it as a seed to be planted and grown. They understand that a dollar kept idle is a worker unemployed. They put their money to work through investments, business opportunities, and assets that appreciate in value. I've studied wealthy people for decades and discovered they share a common attitude toward problems. While the average person sees a problem and runs from it, the wealthy see the same problem and run toward it. They recognize that every problem solved creates value, and value creation is the foundation of wealth. Take young Sarah, for instance. When her neighborhood experienced frequent power outages Instead of just complaining like everyone else, she invested in portable solar chargers and offered to charge her neighbors' devices for a small fee. That simple solution to a common problem became her first business venture. She thought differently about the situation and prospered as a result. The wealthy also maintain what I call an investor mindset rather than a consumer mindset. When extra money comes their way, their first thought isn't, what can I buy? But how can this money multiply? They delay gratification, understanding that $1 invested today can become $10 tomorrow. Time, too, is viewed differently by the wealthy. They recognize it as their most precious asset. They invest their time in activities that either produce income now or will produce greater income in the future. They're not busy. They're productive. There's an important distinction there. Here's a simple exercise you can begin today. For the next 30 days, before making any purchase or decision involving money, ask yourself, is this a wealthy thinking pattern or a struggling thinking pattern? Then choose accordingly. Remember Mr. Wilson, who started with just a small repair shop. He developed the habit of setting aside 20 of every dollar that came in before paying any bills or expenses. Friends called him foolish, but 20 years later, that foolish. Habit had built him a fortune while they were still living paycheck to paycheck. The wealthy aren't afraid to go against conventional wisdom. They understand that to achieve uncommon results, they must take uncommon actions. They invest in themselves, continually expanding their knowledge and skills, knowing that their earning ability is directly tied to their learning ability. The mindset of the wealthy isn't complicated, but it is uncommon. Begin adopting these patterns of thought today. Wealth is first created in the mind before it ever manifests in your bank account. Think wealthy thoughts, make wealthy decisions, and watch as your financial situation begins to transform before your eyes. Lesson 6. Finding your acre of diamond. I'd like to share with you one of the most powerful concepts in the world of financial abundance, a concept that has transformed countless lives throughout history. It's the story of the acre of diamonds. There once was a farmer who sold his farm to travel far and wide in search of diamonds. He spent years searching, grew increasingly desperate, and eventually threw himself into a river, ending his life in despair. Meanwhile, the man who purchased his farm one day noticed an unusual stone in a stream running through the property. That stone turned out to be one of the largest diamonds ever discovered. The farm, the original owner abandoned in his quest for riches, was in fact sitting on one of the richest diamond mines in the world. This story carries a profound truth. Opportunity isn't somewhere else. It's right where you are. The wealth you seek is often beneath your feet, if only you have the wisdom to recognize it. Look around you. What problems do you see that need solving? What knowledge or skills do you possess that others might value? Your unique experiences, talents, and perspective constitute your personal acre of diamonds. Most people make the fundamental error of believing opportunity requires them to go somewhere else, learn something entirely new, or become someone different. They ignore the riches in their own backyard while chasing distant mirages. A woman I knew worked as a secretary for 20 years. She noticed her boss constantly struggled with organizing important files. She developed a simple system to solve this problem. Today, her filing system is used by thousands of companies, and she earns more annually than she made in a decade as a secretary. She found her acre of diamonds in the everyday problems she encountered. Remember this principle. Value comes before reward. Look for ways to give before expecting to receive. The marketplace rewards those who solve problems and fill needs. The size of your financial reward will be in direct proportion to the size and number of problems you solve. A young man I mentored couldn't afford college but knew everything about fishing in his local lakes. He began offering guided fishing tours on weekends. As word spread of his expertise, his small service grew into a full outfitting business. His acre of diamonds was literally the fishing hole he'd visited since childhood. How do you find your acre of diamonds? Begin by making a list of everything you know well. What do others ask you for help with? What problems do you notice that frustrate people? What comes easily to you that others find difficult? Next, Consider how you might package this knowledge or skill to serve others. Could you teach it, perform it as a service, create a product around it? The opportunity you seek isn't in some distant place. It's right where you are, waiting to be recognized. Your acre of diamonds exists in the unique combination of your knowledge, skills, and the needs of those around you. Stop looking elsewhere for what you already possess. The fortune you seek is beneath your feet. Lesson 7. The magic of taking action. There exists a curious phenomenon that I've observed through decades of studying successful men and women. Ideas are like seeds. They have magnificent potential, but without the soil of action, they remain merely possibilities rather than realities, and in the realm of financial abundance, this truth becomes startlingly clear. The world is filled with people who know what to do to improve their financial situation. They've read the books. They've attended the seminars. They nod in agreement at sound financial principles, yet they remain in the same position year after year. Why? Because knowing and doing are separated by a gulf that can only be crossed by that magic ingredient: action. I recall a gentleman I met in Chicago who had developed a remarkable system for personal investing. His ideas were sound, his research impeccable. For 3 years, he refined his approach, searching for the perfect moment to begin. Meanwhile, his neighbor, with far less knowledge but a willingness to start, implemented a simpler plan and accumulated substantial wealth during those same 3 years. The difference wasn't intelligence or information, but the willingness to set things in motion. This magic of taking action works like compound interest. Small, consistent financial actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but they create a momentum that becomes unstoppable over time. $5 saved daily becomes $1825 in a year. That same amount invested wisely becomes a force that works while you sleep. Many good people fall victim to what I call the paralysis of analysis in their financial lives. They believe they need perfect information before beginning. They wait for ideal economic conditions. They search for guarantees in a world where none exist. And while they wait, the flowing river of opportunity passes them by. The wealthy understand that imperfect action trumps perfect inaction every time. They create what I call a one-page plan, a simple, clear document that outlines the essential financial actions they will take daily, weekly, and monthly. Nothing elaborate, nothing complex, just the core disciplines that move the needle of prosperity. Consider establishing your own daily wealth-building ritual. Perhaps it's reviewing your expenses for 10 minutes each morning, or reading about money management for 15 minutes before bed, or setting aside a fixed percentage of every dollar that comes your way. These simple actions, performed with religious consistency, become the foundation upon which fortunes are built. Action has a curious psychological effect as well. When we move forward, even in small ways, our minds become energized. Solutions appear. Opportunities emerge. The universe seems to conspire with those who demonstrate their commitment through action. The magic is available to all, but it only works when activated. As surely as a garden grows when tended, your financial life will flourish when you transform knowledge into action. Begin today with whatever resources you have, wherever you are. The magic awaits your command. Lesson 8. Persistence, the key to financial breakthroughs. Today, we're going to explore what I believe is the greatest secret to financial success that most people simply ignore. That secret is persistence. This single quality has created more wealth than perhaps any other human attribute, and yet it remains rare as a diamond in a sandbox. Let's consider something fascinating about life. Almost everything worthwhile we pursue will test our resolve before it yields its rewards. This is especially true with money. The universe seems to ask, how badly do you want this? Are you willing to continue when others quit? The pathway to financial independence isn't a straight line. It's filled with unexpected turns, temporary failures, and what appear to be setbacks. I say appear because what most people call financial setbacks are actually setups for success. They're tests, opportunities to prove your commitment. Consider the rubber band principle. A rubber band is useful only when it's stretched. Similarly, your financial capabilities expand only when they're stretched beyond comfort. The tension you feel when facing financial challenges isn't meant to break you, but to strengthen you. I've observed thousands of successful people throughout my life, and not one, not a single one, achieved financial security without facing moments when everything seemed lost. What separated them from others? They refused to quit when results were delayed. Take Thomas Edison. After thousands of failed attempts to create the light bulb, a reporter asked if he felt like a failure. Edison replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of inevitable financial success. Or consider Colonel Sanders, who heard no 1009 times before someone agreed to use his chicken recipe. Had he stopped at 1,000 rejections, one of America's most successful food businesses would never have existed. When you plant seeds in a garden, you don't dig them up every few days to check their progress. Yet with money, we often abandon our financial plans at the first sign that growth isn't happening as quickly as we'd hoped. Persistence means giving your financial seeds time to grow. The wealthy understand. The poor don't. Enthusiasm must be maintained even when results are delayed. Your excitement on day 100 should match day 1, even if you haven't seen the evidence of success yet. Here's a simple exercise I encourage you to do right now. Create your financial bounce-back strategy. Write down what you'll do and how you'll respond when facing your next money challenge. Will you retreat, or will you see it as the setup for your comeback story? The difference between those who create lasting financial abundance and those who don't isn't intelligence, connections, or luck. It's the simple willingness to stay the course when others abandon ship. Let me assure you, persistence is not just continuing to take action. It's continuing to believe in your financial future when evidence suggests otherwise. It's maintaining your vision when circumstances try to blur it. The good news: persistence is a choice available to everyone, and it's this choice, made daily, that will eventually transform your financial landscape from scarcity to abundance. Lesson 9. The power of financial association. The company you keep may well determine the success you achieve in life. This observation becomes especially significant when we consider our financial destiny. I've observed through decades of studying successful men and women that wealthy people rarely travel alone on their journey to prosperity. Think for a moment about the 5 people you spend the most time with. Their attitudes toward money, success, and opportunity are silently shaping your own financial future. This isn't mere speculation. It's a principle as reliable as gravity. We become the average of the 5 people we associate with most closely. If your friends constantly complain about money problems, speak negatively about wealthy people, or ridicule financial ambition, these attitudes are weaving themselves into your own thinking. The good news is that you can consciously choose associations that elevate rather than limit your financial potential. Successful people instinctively understand the value of strategic relationships. They seek out mentors who have already achieved what they desire. They join mastermind groups where ideas are exchanged and refined. They engage with others who challenge their thinking and expand their vision of what's possible. Consider the remarkable power of a mastermind alliance, a concept Napoleon Hill described after studying hundreds of successful Americans. When 2 or more minds come together in harmony for a shared purpose, a third invisible force emerges. Greater than the sum of its parts. This principle has created more fortunes than perhaps any other single idea. Finding a financial mentor can change everything. Look for someone who has achieved the financial success you desire and approach them with respect for their time. Ask specific questions, listen intently, and apply what you learn. 1 hour with the right mentor can save you years of trial and error. Your environment also constitutes a form of association. The books you read, the programs you watch, and the content you consume are shaping your financial thinking. Fill your environment with materials that reinforce prosperity consciousness rather than lack and limitation. Consider creating a personal board of advisors. people whose wisdom and experience you can draw upon for different aspects of your financial life. This might include an investment advisor, a successful entrepreneur, and someone skilled at money management. They need not meet as a formal group. The important thing is that you actively seek their counsel. Changing your associations doesn't mean abandoning old friends. It simply means being intentional about adding new relationships that support your financial growth. As you elevate your thinking and achieve greater success, you'll naturally inspire those around you. Your financial future is too important to leave to chance associations. Choose deliberately who you spend time with, who you learn from, and who you allow to influence your thinking about money and success. As you upgrade your financial associations, you'll find that opportunities, ideas, and support flow to you naturally. Those who achieve lasting financial abundance rarely do so alone. They travel in the company of others who inspire, challenge, and elevate them. Lesson 10. Solving problems to create wealth. There's a remarkable secret hidden within every financial challenge you'll ever face. I'd like you to imagine for a moment that problems are not obstacles at all, but rather signposts pointing toward opportunity. This simple shift in perspective separates those who merely survive financially from those who thrive abundantly. The most successful people throughout history understood that wealth flows naturally to those who solve problems for others. Consider this. Every fortune in existence began with someone who identified a problem and created a solution. The larger the problem, the greater the potential reward. When faced with a financial difficulty, the average person asks, "Why is this happening to me?" But the wealth-conscious individual asks a very different question. What opportunity is contained within this challenge? This is not mere positive thinking. It is practical recognition of how the economic world operates. Look around you right now. Every product, service, and convenience you enjoy exists because someone saw a problem that needed solving. The chair you're sitting on, the book you're reading, the device displaying these words, all began as solutions to human problems. Your own financial breakthroughs will emerge when you train yourself to spot problems that need solving. Start in your immediate environment. What frustrations do you encounter daily? What difficulties do friends or colleagues frequently mention? These aren't complaints, they're market research. The most valuable skill you can develop is turning these observations into practical solutions. Sometimes the answer is creating something new. Other times it's simply improving what already exists or making it more accessible to those who need it. Problems reveal themselves differently to different people. Your unique background, skills, and perspective allow you to see solutions others might miss. This is why your specific combination of experiences isn't a limitation, it's a competitive advantage in creating wealth. The beautiful truth is that solving problems creates a magnificent cycle. When you genuinely improve someone's life through your solution, they willingly exchange value for that improvement. This exchange is the essence of honest wealth creation. Start small. You don't need to solve world hunger tomorrow. Begin by addressing problems within your immediate sphere of influence. As you develop this problem, solving muscle, you'll naturally gravitate toward larger challenges with correspondingly larger rewards. Make this a daily practice. Each morning ask yourself, what problems can I solve today? Each evening reflect, what problems did I notice that need solutions? Keep a dedicated notebook for these observations. It will become your personal treasure map to financial opportunity. Money is simply a receipt for value delivered. The more problems you solve and the more people you solve them for, the more of these receipts you'll naturally collect. This isn't complex. This isn't complex. It's the fundamental economic law that has created every fortune since the dawn of civilization. The wonderful truth is that problem solving puts your financial destiny squarely in your own hands. Economic conditions, background, education, and other external factors become secondary to your ability to identify and solve problems that matter to others. Start today. Cultivate your awareness of problems around you. Develop solutions. Deliver value, and watch as wealth naturally flows toward you, as reliably as water flows downhill. Lesson 11. The Magic of Giving. Have you noticed, friends, that the most financially successful people are also often the greatest givers? This is no coincidence. This is no coincidence. It's one of the grand paradoxes of prosperity that has existed since the beginning of civilization. Today, we're going to explore how giving actually creates a pathway for wealth to flow into your life. The universe operates on principles that are as reliable as gravity. Just as surely as an apple falls from a tree, the principle of giving creates a vacuum that must be filled. Nature abhors a vacuum. It must be filled. Nature abhors a vacuum, you see. When you give with a joyful heart, you create space for new abundance to enter. I remember a shoeshine man in Chicago who always put a portion of his earnings into a small charity box he kept beside his stand. People would ask him, "How can you afford to give so much when you have so little?" With a knowing smile, he'd reply, "I'm not giving because I have a lot. I have a lot because I give." That simple shoeshine man understood a principle that many financial experts with advanced degrees never grasp. Giving puts you into the flow of life. Most people are like the Dead Sea. Everything flows in, nothing flows out, and no life can exist there. But when you give, you become like a flowing river, constantly renewed, fresh, and abundant. Now, I'm not suggesting you give away everything you own. That's not practical wisdom. Instead, establish a giving plan just as you would a savings plan. Perhaps start with just 1% of your income designated for giving. As your prosperity increases, your giving can increase proportionally. The form of your giving matters less than the spirit behind it. You might donate money to causes you believe in, volunteer your time and talents, or simply perform acts of kindness that require no money at all. The key is to give without expectation of return, yet with the quiet knowledge that the universe always balances its accounts. Wealthy people understand that money is like water. When hoarded, it becomes stagnant. When circulated, it stays fresh and increases. By giving, you demonstrate faith in abundance rather than fear of lack. You signal to your subconscious mind that you live in a generous universe where there is always more than enough. Try this experiment. For the next 30 days, find something to give each day. It might be a sincere compliment, a helping hand, or a small donation. Notice how this practice changes your relationship with abundance. Many who try this report mysterious coincidences, unexpected checks, opportunities, or solutions to financial problems appearing almost magically. Friends, the law of circulation governs all prosperity. The farmer who hoards all his seed, afraid to cast it upon the ground, will have no harvest. But the farmer who generously scatters seed, trusting in the natural cycle of growth, reaps abundance beyond measure. When you give, do so with joy rather than obligation. The attitude behind your giving multiplies its power. A grudging gift carries little spiritual currency, while a joyful gift sets in motion forces that eventually return to you multiplied. Start today. Become a conscious giver, and watch as the principle of abundance begins working in your life. The stream of prosperity always flows toward those who understand this timeless truth. Lesson 12. Creating your future of abundance. The strangest secret in the world is that we become what we think about. As we arrive at this final chapter of our journey together, it's worth remembering that everything we've discussed began with a simple idea. You see, ideas are the currency of the universe, more valuable than gold or silver, stocks or bonds. And the idea that you can always have money is perhaps the most powerful one of all. Think about this. Each day, you wake up with a choice. Will you drift along the current of life like a leaf on a stream, or will you navigate with purpose and direction? The difference between those who always have money and those who don't isn't luck or circumstance, it's decision. The decision to take control of your financial destiny begins in your mind before it ever shows up in your bank account. Every great fortune started as a thought in someone's mind. Every invention, every business, every investment that has ever created wealth began as an invisible idea. Your financial future is being built brick by the thoughts you're having right now. This isn't mystical thinking, it's practical reality. I've seen countless men and women transform their financial lives not by finding some hidden treasure, but by changing their thinking. They planted new ideas in the fertile soil of their minds and tended them daily until they grew into magnificent realities, and you can do exactly the same thing. Remember the farmer who plants his crop. He doesn't wonder if the soil will work. He knows that if he plants corn, corn will grow, not wheat or barley or anything else. This is the law of the harvest, as reliable as the sunrise. Your mind works the same way. Plant thoughts of lack and limitation, and that's exactly what you'll harvest. Plant thoughts of abundance and opportunity, and watch what happens. The world doesn't withhold abundance from you. It's simply waiting for you to align your thinking with the laws that govern prosperity. Money flows where attention goes. Where are you directing your attention? What financial seeds are you planting each day? Now is the time to bring together everything we've discussed throughout this book. Your new understanding of wealth psychology, goal setting, opportunity recognition, action taking, persistence, and problem solving forms a complete system for ensuring you always have money. Make no mistake about it. This isn't about getting lucky or finding some shortcut. It's about building a foundation of thought and action that makes financial abundance inevitable. Just as a garden doesn't grow overnight, your financial harvest will come in its season if you've done the planting and nurturing required. Starting today, make a commitment to yourself. Decide that you will no longer be at the mercy of economic tides or financial uncertainties. Choose to become the architect of your financial future, rather than a victim of circumstance. Plant the thoughts that will yield the harvest you desire. The same intelligence that created this magnificent universe lives and expresses through you. You have been given dominion over your financial life through the power of your mind. Use this gift wisely, consistently, and with great expectation. As surely as night follows day, the abundance you seek will find its way to you. After all, that's how you always have money. You think it, you believe it, you act on it, and it becomes your reality